It's a comprehensive program that will help not only them to learn better, but to discover what they already know. And that is what's so exciting, that we have been wanting to bring the accelerated learning into our practice, using the method of that to work with the children so that they discover, and as they do, they want to know more. And when that thirst opens up and they get the aha, that's what we say, when they have that, they have it. And there is no stopping. They will go, like one young man that we have here today. He came into JUMP, he got the aha, and now he's been around the world, and with languages that you're just proud to hear him and his accomplishment. And it's really given me great joy to say that this can be replicated.
Well, the goal is to reach a child, touch a child, challenge a child to raise his or her academic performance. We are reaching to the young men and women who are scoring beneath the 50 percentile on the school-sponsored tests. And we know that a child that is below the 50 percentile will not have opportunity to go on to higher education. So we're reaching in the early ages, early stages, the early grades, to lift those children above the 50 percentile. What is the benefit? Children who have hope, children who are engaged in academic and in a behavior that is upward bound, resist the criminal behavior that is oftentimes foisted upon them in our communities.
They come into the program, they don't want to do their homework, they're fussy, they cry, but by 6 months passes and they're working independently, and I see them grow. We test the students when they first come into the program. There's a post-test and a pre-test. So they get the pre-test and then they go on for a while, and then we post-test them. And generally in the post-test we see gains, measurable gains.
The foundation would certainly like to see this program expanded. We would like more children to be able to take advantage of the kinds of things that the program is offering. We have small classrooms, small, almost one-on-one kinds of instruction, and that certainly would benefit other children who are not achieving very well in school.
Well, the biggest challenge, as I stated before, getting the parents involved and funding. Yeah, that's the biggest challenge. Yeah, funding first, well, maybe the parents first and then the funding. Both work hand in hand.
You have to see potentials in all students. And if they are not succeeding, then what do we do as a group to help them to succeed? And I think this is why the component of JUMPIPREP was brought about, to help students who might not be functioning at grade level proceed to another step.
The benefit to the overall community, I think, is growth, meaning that it's positive growth. There's not, there's always a stigma that, if you're born and raised in the city or if you live in low-income housing, that, that's where you're going to stay and that's where you're going to end up for the rest of your life. But with this program, it gives you a chance to have a dream, to have hopes, to have a future, not to just be held down by what some in society might say, this is your place.
And I went and worked in one of the most notorious housing projects in the city of Chicago, Cabrini Green. And it was at that point I saw children that looked like me that were 2 and 3 grade levels behind. They could not read. And pretty much most of the teachers had given up on them and said they were never going to amount to anything. And I would venture to say those students taught me more that first year of teaching than I taught them, because these students have the amazing tenacity to come to school through gang lines every day to try to get an education. And so it was my ministry in that school to give them that education. I came back to San Francisco in 1998 to Bayview Hunters Point, which is a similar demographic to the demographic that JUMPIPREP serves, and students there were 2 and 3 years behind in school. These kids are amazing, but the expectation level has to be high for them. They will produce amazing results if they're given the tools to do so.
The program provides an after-school safe environment for kids in the community, in the Fillmore community, particularly at Rose Parks, to have a chance to get some of the remedial help that they need with people that care about them, and and to let those kids know that people care. And I think that to me that's what we all have to do. We have to care about our kids, and so I think I feel confident that if people provide the resources, that the program will be a great asset in the community.
We're looking for partners who are looking at a model that is not a deficit model. We don't want to look at the pathology of blackness, which is what people are willing to fund. If we can say that these kids are from urban communities, parents are on drugs, single parent household, all of the negativity stuff that people want to cry about and say, oh, that poor child. No, what I want folks to look at is that some of these kids are just poor. They're being raised by mothers and grandmothers who want the very best for their children, and they cannot on their own do that. So I want to see people who want to come in who believe that our children can excel, that with hard work and getting them to understand who they are and whose they are, they can be successful.
My experience with the program has been excellent. The students that take part in our program, first of all, it's a daily program. It's every day. It starts at 2 o'clock when our school ends, when our normal school day ends, and it runs until 5 o'clock every day, Monday through Friday. I think that the consistency of the 3 hours a day after school is it's really grounding for the students that take part in it. We offer homework help. We have snack. We have 3 days a week. We have a credentialed teacher providing support, academic support for the students. We have many different activities. We have music, taekwondo, recorder lessons, tree frog treks. So the students are able to spend a lot of quality time in different types of activities that help support their academic and social emotional well-being.
I definitely think that the community benefits from having these type of programs. Being that this community has experienced so many different tragedies, whether it be through drugs or gang-related activities, turf issues, incarcerated family members and things like that. It's very important to have our youngsters involved in positive after-school programs. The more programs that we have available for them, the less likely they'll become one of the statistics that we have with our young people in this neighborhood. It's a citywide issue, but for the Western Addition itself, it's vital that we have programs like this for our children. Sometimes we don't have models in our household. Sometimes there's situations that are beyond the family's control, and it's not that they don't want to. They're working double shifts, or they're in school trying to better themselves, and we have to pick up the pieces. You talk about it takes a village to raise a child, and we're just part of that village. Trying to make sure that they're given the right tools to succeed. That's really what we're about. It's building the resiliency in our children so that they can become better citizens here.